Hello everyone, back with a slightly different video this time. So yeah, I wasn't going to do another video until I either did the recent watches. It's been 3 days since I did the last one. I think I've only watched 3 films in that time, so probably be a week or 10 days or maybe even 2 weeks, depending on my working schedule, till I get that one done. And like I've said a few times, haven't got any money at the moment really to buy anything to do like a haul video. I think I mentioned before my cat had to have his teeth cleaned under anaesthetic. Cost like £437. I had to have a couple of teeth removed. So yeah, I did save up for that, but obviously quite broke until I get paid again in just over 2 weeks. So yeah, I was thinking recently when I was looking through the collection at what to watch, about doing a video on like favourite remakes. So not necessarily saying these are better than the originals. Some of them I think are. Some of them I haven't seen the original, so I'm just going by what I've sort of made of the remake, what I thought of the remake, should I say. Yeah, there's a few. I mean, I know The Blob, Stuart spoke about that from Stuart George's Home Movies, meant to be a really good remake. I think people say it's better than the original. Then there's obviously some real turkeys out there, like Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I've heard the remake of The Fog is really bad. Um, some more might spring to my mind as I'm going through this. Yeah, there's a few I've heard, not heard that many that I haven't got that are really good. I guess there's a lot of sort of non-horror remakes that are probably good, or some films I've got where they change the title slightly, where you might not realise it's a remake. But yeah, it does seem to be most of these are like horror. It's not so much I've gone through horror. I've looked through the whole collection, and yeah, I guess it's just the way horror is, and a lot of directors starting out on a low budget seem to make horror as their first feature. And if a horror film's done well a while ago, then I guess these lazy Hollywood studios, easiest common denominator is just to remake or reimagine a horror film. The remake of Hellraiser I quite enjoyed. Seemed to be quite hit and miss. I know some people really hated it, some people really loved it. I am a fan of the original, not one of my favourite horrors. When I was a kid I really liked it, but when I watched it the last time, it's quite slow in that, the original. Part 2 is quite good. Part 3 is a silly kind of slasher. I enjoy it, but like I say, it's a bit sort of silly slashery entertainment. And then yeah, all the sequels that I've seen are quite bad. And then there's a lot of direct-to-video ones that don't even have Doug Bradley that I've heard are bad. Yeah, any I think of, any of these that jog my memory as I go along, I'll try and mention. But yeah, I'll try not to let this go on too long. It shouldn't be 40 odd minutes like my recent output. So people are probably skeptical of that, but yeah, I won't talk about each one for too long. So starting off, we'll go with It. So I do have the steelbook of this. Like I've always said, I'm not the biggest steelbook collector, but if I see them in HMV, looks like it's got a bit of something on that. HMV on steelbook, and it's like the same price as the standard, or a couple of pound more, or they just have the steelbook, not the usual standard version, and I will pick it up. But yeah, I think this is one of the better modern horror films. I really like the original It. I mean, it's quite dated now. The first half I really enjoy. Should have brought out some of the originals actually to show them for context. I will quickly show it. Yeah, this version. It was a 2-part TV miniseries. I think it originally aired on Sky One in 1990. Well, it was directed in 1990. Not sure it aired in 1990 because I remember it being on TV. I think I was older than 6 when I first seen this. Obviously, I'm born in '84. Put an age on me. Yeah, first half is quite good. Still stands up quite well. But the second half really drops off when they're adults with some real sort of cheesy effects. And then without spoiling it, the end, when they sort of fight the creature in his, what should we say, his final form, real form, was quite disappointing. I won't say what happens. Part 2 of the remake I didn't really like at all. Watched it at a cinema. Like some of the actors, like Bill Hader and that in it, and what's the woman? I always forget her name with like the gingery hair. I'll see if I remember in a second. Yeah, part 2 not only had some really bad CGI, but again they went with the same kind of ending, maybe even worse than the original. But yeah, obviously in the original part of this, Tim Curry amazing as Pennywise, not just creepy but iconic. really good dialogue. Yeah, everybody knows Tim Curry, not just a great actor, but really embodies any sort of character he plays. So yeah, I would say this is sort of one of the ones that did need an upgrade. Not just it is dated, but obviously being a made-for-TV movie, it did have a low budget. Whereas, yeah, this one I did really enjoy. Watched it a couple of times. Haven't seen it for a little while, but yeah, never bought the second part to this. Is really don't like it. Well, I can't even remember what it was called, the second part. But yeah, that's probably coming in at my number 10. Number 9, I have seen the original a long, long time ago. Did enjoy it. Haven't seen it in years. Can't remember it too well. The remake of Maniac. So the original has got, what's his name? I know he's Frank Zito in it. I'm having a mental block. I think you can get it on these yellow kind of Shameless collection. So we'll pick it up eventually. Yeah, I remember it being quite a sort of sleazy, kind of gritty horror, quite a low budget one. But yeah, this quite a different remake. It's all sort of shot in POV. If anyone's ever seen Peep Show, one of my favourite sitcoms from Britain, I know Sammy G's World of Cinema and Blue Roy Movies are big fans of Peep Show. Probably other people out there. Obviously, Peep Show is all shot from the perspective of the main characters, and this is the same. Yeah, really good role from Elijah Wood in it. Really good music. Not usually my kind of music. Some of these kind of like ambient electronic, but it really works in this. Yeah, I'd have to rewatch the older version. I don't remember his name. I can see him with his sort of long brown hair and his little moustache. I think he is dead now. Rest in peace. But I think it's a Frank Henenlotter film, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who did Basket Case and Brain Damage and Bad Biology, I think. But yeah, I'd have to go back and watch the original to compare them. But yeah, was really shocked how much I enjoyed this. Haven't seen it in about 10 years. Do have to have another rewatch of this. Directed by Frank Calhoun. Yeah, I have heard a few other films by him, but can't think what. But yeah, if you're into sort of it's not really a spoiler to say, kind of serial killer films with like mannequins, really colourful and well shot. I won't go in looking in who's the director of photography, or this will go on long like most of my videos. Definitely not saying this is better than the original, because the original Japanese, not just one of my favourite Japanese films, but one of my favourite from the Tartan Asia Extreme, probably top 5 Japanese horror, maybe even top 10 horror in general. But the remake of The Ring, so it's directed. I always forget the guy's name. I don't want to go looking in it. Oh yeah, it doesn't really seem to say. I don't remember it then. But yeah, it's got Naomi Watts in it. It's sort of really gritty, sort of all drained out grey colour, still creepy, still got Sadako, is she called? Not really a spoiler to say, the girl with all the like long black hair that comes out of the well. I'd say the original Ring is not only creepier and a better made film, but it's sort of a bit more of a like mystery, investigative kind of horror. Whereas, yeah, this still has got that element, but obviously being a bit of a Hollywood horror, it does go for more of a sort of standard. Yeah, I really like this edition. So the VHS kind of one on 4K. I won't get it all out, but it comes with like a little steelbook inside, loads of postcards and stuff. Then you've got this little box with like extra bits in. But yeah, really nice collector's set, that one. If I can get it back in. Yeah, so I wouldn't say this is better than the original, but considering the original is that high up on my list, this, yeah, say the original is like a 9 or 10 out of 10. It's like a 7 or 8. So yeah, if you haven't seen this and think, it's probably just a generic Hollywood remake, I think it actually is a good film in its own right. Gore Kablinski or something, I'm thinking the director's name is. Like I said, I can't be bothered to get it all out. It would take too long. This one, I do have the original. Shamelessly, I've still not seen it. Nosferatu from, I want to say, 1922, German film, directed by F.W. Murnau, I think you pronounce it. I think he's got a few other films, but I've not seen it. It is a silent film. It's kind of black and white, but it's tinted. Yeah, first of all, I was like, is this a colour remake? But I think Roy, again, Blue Roy Barrett, commented saying they've kind of tinted all the frames on it. So yeah, haven't seen the original, so I'm not going to say this is better, but yeah, really enjoyed this. Probably my favourite film by Robert Eggers now. I really did like The Witch, but it is slow going. It's all in kind of Old English. Takes a while to get going. It's a slow burn. I know some people didn't get on with it. It's not for everyone. Lighthouse I really like, but again, it's pretty barmy. I'm sure there's going to be people out there that don't like weird films that just don't get it. Haven't seen The Northman. think it's Alexander Skarsgård. I think it's like a Viking kind of film. Again, that seems to be the lowest ranked in a lot of people's lists. I know quite a few people that didn't get on with this, but yeah, I really enjoyed this when I seen it. I thought it'd be quite slow, but it had me entertained all the way through. It's 2 hours 12 minutes, and it didn't feel that. Really good acting, brilliant atmosphere, good cinematography, quite a few shocking, horrifying bits, quite a good gore. I thought for the 415, especially the bits where bit with the pigeon is all I'm going to say. Yeah, good acting all round. Really like the setting, all sort of in the like Transylvanian castle in the snow. Probably the best role I've seen by Nicholas Hoult. Lily Rose Depp, don't think I'd seen her in anything, but she's really good in it. Willem Dafoe's not in it too much, but he's good when he is. Bill Skarsgård, brilliant as the Count. Looks the part, really creepy. His voice, like I've said before, I don't know if it's altered or whether he's just putting it on. But yeah, the sort of presence and that he's got, really good. But yeah, really enjoyed this. Gonna have to watch this again soon. So yeah, I would also put that up in my top 10 remakes. Another one I've never seen the original. Heard it's quite a good one. I think it's Vincent Price in the original. You can get this on Blu-ray, but I think it's at a print in about £25. I know it's not going to be for everybody. 13 Ghosts, directed by Steve Beck. Yeah, it's kind of one of those, is it late 90s, early 2000s? See if I can find a year on it, because I never usually can. 2001. So yeah, it came out. There's a lot of films around this time. I know Ash from Popcorn and Horror has got a soft spot for these. So yeah, it's probably like 16, 17 when I first seen this. Went to watch it around my mate's house. He'd already seen it, invited us a load of us round, saying it was like the scariest film he'd seen. I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's got a few tense scenes and jump scares. But for me, the actual ghosts in this goes into their backstory. Then in the extras, it does actually have a like bit where it shows like the backstory of each ghost. And yeah, the one called the Hammer, the Juggernaut, and especially they call it. It's got like a cage on its face. I'm having a blank of its name. Does it tell me here? No, I like the way it's all set in like a kind of glass house, like a modern kind of house where you can see through it. It's got some good actors in it. Tony Shalhoub, Shannon Elizabeth. I remember at the time she just come off of American Pie. It was like one of the hottest in both senses of the word young female actors around. Yeah, I think the original is quite a slow kind of horror with Vincent Price, whereas yeah, this is quite action packed. Like I say, probably not for everybody if you're not into like Scream and I Know What We Did Last Summer, Idle Hands, Final Destination, Urban Legend, maybe Wrong Turn, all those kind of sort of popcorn teen kind of horrors. You might not like this, but not only have I always enjoyed this, but yeah, every time I go back to watch it, I still find it entertaining. I've never remembered the name of the. Everyone will know what I mean if you've watched it, but they say it's like the Charlie Manson of ghosts, and it's got like a metal cage around its head, and it's like scratching people. But yeah, that's probably the creepiest ghost. This one again, I have never seen the original. I think the original was good. I guess the original was like 60s or so, because this is 78. I think Roy and Stuart have said the original is good. Maybe Roy likes the original more than this version. Pretty sure Stuart, that's a tongue twister, prefers this version. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, directed by Philip Kaufman, starring Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, Leonard Nimoy. I think he was Spock in Star Trek. Don't really know too much about Star Trek. I've heard that. Jeff Goldblum, Veronica Cartwright. Yeah, great cast. Yeah, I'd have to go with some of these. Let me know in the comments if you think the original's better than these remakes on the ones I haven't seen or the ones I have seen, if you beg to differ. Yeah, let me know if they're worth watching. I think maybe some of these, in my opinion, have improved on the originals of the ones I have seen, but yeah, I can't imagine the original will be better than this, just because this is one of the top sort of sci-fi horrors I've seen. Really well made, really good. Also, the Abel Ferrara remake of this, I think it's just called Body Snatchers. Really good as well, but not quite up to this level. I mean, Donald Sutherland kind of elevates this for me. Really well shot. And yeah, the ending, without spoiling it, all I'm going to say is a bit when he sort of points with his like mouth open, that not only looks creepy, but just one of the sort of most haunting endings I've seen in any film. Just sort of really stuck in my mind forever since I watched it. Yeah, like I say, 1978, 115 minutes. I haven't watched this in a couple of years, so do a rewatch of this. But yeah, really enjoy that one. Next one, I'm not saying it's a better film than Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but I think it's so much improved on the original. So I've got the original. I won't get it out because it will take too long. But The Hills Have Eyes. So yeah, the original Wes Craven one. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I find it quite slow. Not Wes Craven's worst, and it's not sort of hokey or anything. It's a lot better than the sequel, which I think also had a remake, but the remake of the sequel was bad. I do have the sequel. I don't know if you can see it just back there. Like the Arrow special set, but I haven't watched it in a while. Yeah, I can't remember it being too great. So yeah, I would say this for me. Don't know how I did that twice. I'm not going to edit it, as everybody knows I don't know how to edit. Yeah, I don't hate the original Wes Craven one, but this is much improved on it for me. Sort of more intense, more realistic, pretty disturbing, some quite strong stuff. Really good acting by, what's his name? Ted Levine, especially in it. Directed by Alexander Arja, one of my favourite sort of modern horror directors. Did Crawl. I think he did Hitman, which I haven't got round to yet, but I did get that one off of Ollie. He did Inside, I think it is. A few sort of French extreme horror films and that. But yeah, this is pretty strong stuff. I won't sort of go into too much detail, but there's a scene in the caravan is all I'm going to say. That was quite shocking. Yeah, I watched this one a couple of times, and yeah, for me, this is much improved on the original. Sorry if anybody's a fan of the original out there. Yeah, I don't think the original's a terrible film. And yeah, I'm not saying this Hills Have Eyes is a better made film than Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But as far as ranking remakes go, not just my favourites, yeah, to compare it to the original, I think it's much improved upon the original Wes Craven Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, I don't love it personally. Again, not saying this is better than the original, because the original is a classic. This is very different, a lot more serious, a lot more gore. Sorry if there's a bit of glare, but yeah, Evil Dead. So yeah, the original Evil Dead. I think it's one of the first horrors I seen when I was a kid. I think my parents had it, got it, rented it out the video store on VHS, and probably shouldn't have watched it when I was like probably 7 or 8 or so. I did find it quite scary when I was that age. Obviously, when you're that young, you don't get it's a bit of like a comedy, and the gore and stuff's over the top. Yeah, very different to the original. So I'm not going to say it's better than Sam Raimi's original Evil Dead, which is a classic. But out of most of the next two are kind of sci-fi horror. To give a bit of a spoiler, my top two. So yeah, this is like my number 3 really. It's quite tricky putting them in an order, but yeah, out of all the remakes I've seen, I think this is one of the most well done. And yeah, the scene at the end when without spoiling it, it's got Slayer, the heavy metal thrash band, song "Rain in Blood" playing, and it's raining blood from the heavens. There's a bit with like a load of syringe needles that go into someone. Bit with like a electric sort of turkey carving knife. Yeah, some really brutal gore. It is an 18. What year was this? Probably longer ago than it feels. 2013, so 12 years ago. But yeah, I remember when it came out, heard really good things about it. So yeah, like I say, the original still stands up. Special effects are kind of, I wouldn't say dated, but obviously it is low budget. The camera work in it is probably better than this. Sam Raimi's camera work in that, how it follows through the woods and stuff. I think the scene with the tree, like going into it too much, is probably better than the scene in this with the tree. Yeah, very different film, but as far as if you want to see like a reimagined remake that changes some things, not for the worse for me, and probably a bit more intense and scarier and gorier, more realistic. I say realistic, they're summoning a demon, but than Sam Raimi's original. But the main thing I would say about this, in the original, basically they go to the cabin, they can't leave the cabin because I think the bridge they're going to go is sort of falls down, so they can't leave. Whereas in this, I'm not saying that's not a good setup, but in this I really liked how the way they went with basically, I think her name's Mia in it. She's I think she's on like heroin. She's trying to detox, so we all take her to a cabin in the woods so she can't sort of, run away back to the city or back to the people she gets her substances off or whatever, to give her a chance to detox. So then when she's acting possessed and she's going wild and attacking people, it sort of makes sense where they think she's detoxing, and because she hadn't had her heroin or whatever, that's why she's going insane and getting violent and making up any lies that I'm possessed, demons are coming, try and scare them all into not just letting her leave, but to all leaving. So yeah, I thought it's quite a good premise how they set it up, their trap there. So yeah, like I say, a fancy the original. I'm a big fan of the original too. Not saying this is better, but different. And yeah, for me, as far as these horror remakes go, not only one of the best made ones, but really intense. I do like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Probably won't put it in this list. Probably the best film by Michael Bay. I'm not a massive fan of Michael Bay. There's one shot in that, no pun intended, where a gunshot goes through I think it's the back of a car, and then in one shot it sort of pans through the hole in the. I think it goes out the windscreen all the way back through like the hole in the person's head and out the back through the entry hole in like the back of the car. Yeah, it's a really good shot. I guess the top two probably aren't really going to be a surprise to anybody. Again, I haven't really seen the two originals of this. Yeah, I do need to go back and watch some of these original classics, but people I have spoken to, again, Roy and Stuart especially, I think have said, no, I think Roy did prefer the original of The Fly, whereas I'm pretty sure Stuart said he prefers the David Cronenberg version. Yeah, it's probably my second favourite David Cronenberg film after Videodrome. Maybe top. I mean, I think this is a better made film than Videodrome, but Videodrome for me, just its weirdness and bodied horror and creepy sci-fi, the bit where he's got like the futuristic helmet thing on, like the virtual reality. Yeah, it just kind of satiates my kind of appetite for what I like in films more. But yeah, Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, brilliant in it. Lots of good gore, brilliant body effects. The arm wrestling bit, I remember when I watched that as a kid, everyone in the playground in primary school was talking about that. Yeah, it must have aired on TV. I think there's a sequel remake, haven't seen it. I think there's a sequel and maybe a third to the original Fly. Yeah, let me know what you think of the original Fly, but yeah, got to have this up there as a remake. Like I say, I haven't seen some of these originals, so I'm not necessarily saying they're better than the originals. I'm just saying how much I enjoy these remakes. And yeah, so many remakes are just crap and just, done for a cash grab. So when you do actually get remakes of this at a high quality, then yeah, find them very impressive. And then number one, I'm sure this is nobody's surprise, I do now own the original. Let's see if I can find it down here. So yeah, I do have to really watch this one. So that's the original The Thing from Another World. Heard it is good, but obviously this version being my favourite. I'll put that back in a minute before I drop that as well. This version being my favourite film ever. Obviously John Carpenter's The Thing. I've got this on like this 4K Arrow. No, sorry, this is a standard Arrow version, but quite out of print and hard to find in this nice little box with the artwork. I've got it on a steelbook, 4K. I think that was the only way I could get the 4K was to import the steelbook off of Amazon for about £25. It's like a double disc one. I've still got the old DVD of it. I think Jodie said on her recent, Jodie from Jodie's Movie Realm, when she was getting rid of some films, she was getting rid of her old DVD copy and did say it's a really bad picture. It is, but I just really like this artwork. I think that's probably the most iconic artwork on any release of The Thing. Just, I don't think it is even Kurt Russell on the front by the look of it. But yeah, it's in the snow with these kind of malformed creatures in the background. Yeah, I keep this not just because it's my favourite film, but yeah, I do like that artwork of it. But yeah, it's not a great picture on the DVD, and it's a really bad aspect ratio, I think. But yeah, sure, everybody knows how much I love The Thing. Haven't seen the original. Will watch it soon, but very surprised if I like it more than this, just because, like I say, this is my favourite film ever. Yeah, just a brilliant remake. If the original is as classic as people say, then to improve on it so much, John Carpenter's done a brilliant job. John Carpenter's best film, in my opinion. I won't go on ad nauseum about how brilliant it is, how claustrophobic, how tense, great jump scare with the blood test. Yeah, I've said all this, I'm not exaggerating, 10 times on different videos. Whenever I can get a chance to chat about The Thing, I always do. So yeah, that's my sort of top 10 remakes. Yeah, they all do seem to be horror, really. I'm looking through, there's a few like RoboCop remake I haven't seen, but I heard it's not as good as the original RoboCop in my top 10 favourite films ever. My favourite Paul Verhoeven film. I think there's a remake of Old Boy. Not heard good things. Not even going to dare to watch that because, yeah, Old Boy probably my third favourite film ever. Park Chan-wook's Old Boy. So yeah, not interested in seeing the remake. Blade Runner, an absolute favourite of mine, top 10 films, but I heard there's Blade Runner 2049, haven't seen. Blanking on a few. Before I started this video, I was kind of looking through the collection. Quite a few came to my mind. I think there's a remake of The Crow, might be really bad. Yeah, like I say, most of them seem bad, and it seems when they remake films in action films, sci-fi films, they really miss the mark. Whereas with these horrors, maybe it's because they've churned out so many horrors. It's kind of like if you do enough, do 1,000, then 10 of them's got to be good. But yeah, there's a lot of bad horror remakes, but I do think there are some quite consistent ones. One quite quick honourable mention, if I can find it. I wouldn't put this in my top 10, but I really enjoyed this Jungle Book kind of remake. It's kind of got like CGI creatures voiced by Bill Murray, Ben Kingsley, Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson. The guy that plays Mowgli is really good. Yeah, as a kid, I wasn't a massive fan of the Jungle Book cartoon. It wasn't one of my favourite Disney ones. I preferred like Aladdin, Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone, Lion King. But yeah, as far as these kind of Disney remakes go, I've not seen that many. But obviously, you've got Beauty and the Beast, you've got Dumbo, you've got the Jungle Book. That's like one of Snow White, which is meant to be really bad, very meme-worthy with that Rachel Ziegler. But yeah, not only enjoyed this one, but I think it improves on the original Jungle Book cartoon. And in the original, King Louis, he's not really that menacing, whereas in this, he's like a giant orangutan. And when he's going wild, like smashing up the temple, and that, it is quite an intense scene. So yeah, didn't put that in my top 10, but do really enjoy the Jungle Book remake. So yeah, I think that's all I got to say on those. Like I say, let me know in the comments and things any other remakes I've missed, any sort of non-horror ones you really like, any really bad ones I should stay away from. Yeah, I've heard of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's one of the really bad ones. Never seen it, so I can't judge it myself. But yeah, I'm sure there's some out there that people say improve on the original. I'm sure there's some that I don't know exist, or some that they changed the title slightly, but I don't know is actually a remake of something. I know when I watched 12 Angry Men, someone commented, was it Steve for Films, saying there was a remake in the 90s with George C. Scott. And although I love George C. Scott, one of my favourite actors in my top 5, and it's meant to be good, I just can't see it would improve on like an absolute classic, so don't know if I'll ever get round to that. But yeah, let me know if there's any others you can think of that I'm overlooking, any that are coming out soon. Yeah, I kept that under 30 minutes, so not too bad. But yeah, hopefully this is an interesting video. Just thought I'd do something different to upload a bit of content since I've reached 400 subscribers. And yeah, probably be a little while until I do my next recent watches or haul. So yeah, I thought I'd just give people something to watch to tide them over. Right, thank you for watching, everybody. Be back maybe a week or so with my next video, unless I can think of anything else in the meantime. And yeah, like I say, like, comment, subscribe. I always forget to say that. And yeah, let me know down below. Hopefully this will start a bit of a dialogue on ones you hate or like. And yeah, if anybody's seen the Fog remake, which I haven't seen, but all I've ever heard is it being absolutely panned. Obviously the original, an absolute classic. John Carpenter, great atmosphere, great acting. Yeah, let me know if that's any good or if it is really as bad as people say. Right, thank you, everybody. Bye.